Welcome to Iridium Tutoring, Section 1 of Unit 2, Equations on our Algebra course. Today we will be exploring a little bit more about equations. First off on equations, we want to explore a concept called equality. So equality is shown by this equal sign, and it shows that two amounts or quantities are the same or equal. An equation is when we have two expressions on either side of an equal sign, showing that they are equal to each other. For example, we have 8 plus 9 equals 15 plus 2. This is a true equation because 8 plus 9 is 17 and 15 plus 2 is 17. 17 is equal to 17. Since both sides of the equal sign are equal to 17, this represents an equation. Variables, usually represented with letters such as x, y, z, or a, b, c, represent unknown values. For example, x plus 5 equals 10. We do not know what x is, but we will learn how to solve for this value in the next few slides. What are equations? First off, let's determine what an expression is. It's not the same as an equation. An expression are terms that are grouped together by a series of operations. They do not have an equal sign. For example, 2 plus 3 minus 7 is an expression. Equations are terms grouped together by a series of operations that are equivalent to a value. Equations have an equal sign, contrary to expressions. For example, 2 plus 3 minus 7 equals negative 2 is an equation because there's an equal sign right here. Variables in equations. Variables are letters that represent a real number. They are used in equations when certain factors are unknown. For example, x plus 5 equals 10. In this case, x is a variable that holds the value 5. A minus 3 equals 14. In this case, a is a variable that holds the value 17 because 17 minus 3 equals 14. So these variables represent numbers that satisfy the equation. We will now explore properties of equality. Note that real numbers are all numbers that you can think about, such as negative 2024, 0, 1.34, 903, and 3/4. Think of a number and it should be a real number. The addition property is if A equals B, then A plus C equals B plus C. For example, let A and B equal to 2 and C equal to 1. 2 plus 1 is indeed equal to 2 plus 1 because 3 equals 3. Similar to the addition property are the subtraction property, the multiplication property, and the division property. Take notes on what these are. If A equals B, then A minus C equals B minus C. Similar to the addition property, but it is subtraction. Multiplication, if A equals B, then AC equals BC. If A equals B and C is not equal to 0, because you cannot divide by C, then A over C, or A divided by C, equals to B divided by C. Another property we have is the substitution property for all real numbers A and B. If A equals B, then B can be substituted for A in any expression because they are equal to each other, and they're the same. The reflexive property is a number equals to each other itself. The transitive property, if x equals y and y equals z, then x equals z. For example, if 2 equals 2 and 2 equals 2, then 2 equals 2. Pretty common sense. The symmetric property is if x equals y, then y equals x. Just flip the equation over the equal sign. The distributive property is when you multiply an expression by one variable. X times in parentheses y plus z equals xy plus xz. See how the x distributes itself over the parentheses? Solving equations. When you solve equations, make sure to use PEMDAS, the order of operations, or you might make a mistake when solving the equation. When you need to solve an equation, which means find the value of the variable, you want to isolate the variable on one side of the equation so it equals a value. That value is what you solve for in the equation, is the value of the variable. For example, we have x minus 5 equals 12. Using the properties of inequalities on the previous slides, we can add 5 to both sides to isolate the variable. When you add 5 to x minus 5, you just get x. X, when you add 5 to 12, you get 17. Since you added 5 to both sides of the equation will still be equal because you did the same thing to both sides. Thus, x equals 17. Let's see a different example. 5x equals 10. If we divide it by 5 on both sides, the equality will still hold because you did the same thing to both sides. 5x divided by 5 is x. 10 divided by 5 is 2. So x equals 2. Let's do some practice. Pause the video and try to solve these problems on your own. All right, once you solve them, I'm going to go to the next slide. Here are the solutions. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope we see you next time.